Hello there, and welcome to Module 2 of Langchain Mastery course, Understanding the Basics of Langchain. In this module, we are going to break down the core concepts that power Langchain. Think of it as learning building blocks of AI app development with LLMs. So, what's coming up in this module? First, we will explore Langchain's foundational components chains, agents, prompts, and tools. You will see how these pieces fit together to give your AI applications structure, logic, and external capabilities. Then we will build a basic LangChain pipeline. From getting user input, formatting prompts, to calling an LLM and handling the response. We will put theory into action. And finally, we will create your first LangChain powered chatbot, a simple yet smart Q&A assistant that uses memory to remember parts of the conversation. This will give you hands-on experience with a real use case. By the end of this course, you will have everything you need to build your own intelligent assistants. And you will understand why LangChain is such a game changer for AI app development. So, grab your coffee, open your notebook, and let's dive into Module 2. Now, let's see core concepts in LangChain, the foundational building blocks that power all intelligent applications you will build using LangChain. To understand the core concepts, we will break down the four key pillars of LangChain development chains, agents, tools, and prompts. Each of these play a specific role in helping you build intelligent, dynamic, and modular applications with large language models. So let's start with chains. You can think of a chain as a pipeline, a series of steps where data flows from one module to the next. Each step transforms the data, adds context, and performs a task before passing it forward. It's like an assembly line for your AI logic. And the best part? These steps are fully modular, meaning you can mix, match, and customize based on what your app needs. There are different types of chain in LangChain. LLM chain. This is the most basic and widely used chain. It takes a prompt and sends it to a large language model, then returns the output. It is perfect for simple tasks like answering a question or summarizing text. Second, sequential chain. Do you need to run multiple steps in a row? That's where the sequential chain comes in. It lets you chain together several LLM calls where the output of one becomes input for the next. Router chain. Now, what if you want to route different kinds of input to different chains? Say questions go on one chain and code generation goes to another. Enter the router chain. It acts like a smart traffic cop, directing the input to the right subchain based on logics and conditions. Now that you have learned about chains, let's take it one step further and talk about agents in LangChain. What are agents? Unlike chains, which follow a fixed sequence, agents are dynamic. They make decisions on the fly, choosing which tools to use based on the user's input. For example, if a user says, search the web for today's weather, the agent will recognize the task and decide to call a weather API tool. If the user says, what's 15 times 27, the agent will know to use a calculator tool. How does it work in Langchain? In Langchain, you can easily set up an agent using the initialize agent function. Agent type 0 short react description. This tells the agent to use the description of each tool and make zero shot decisions, meaning it doesn't need any training examples. It just reacts smartly using language model reasoning. Let's say you have added two tools, one for web search and one for math. The agent will read the user's request, choose the appropriate tool, send the input, and return the result, all automatically. Now let's dive into one of the most powerful feature of LangChain, tools. Tools are external functionalities the agent can use to complete its task. LangChain includes tools like web search, Python code execution, calculator, API calls, database queries. You can also build your own tools. For example, if you have a weather API or a SQL database, you can wrap them as tools for your agent to use. You can think of tools as the superpowers you give to your agent. What makes up a tool? Every tool in LangChain has three key parts: name, description, and function. A name, so the agent knows what it's called. A description. This helps the agent understand when and why to use it. A function. This is the code that actually runs when the tool is invoked. How do you agents use tools? When you pair tools with an agent, the agent reads the description of each tool, matches it with the user's intent, and decides which tool to use at runtime. For example, if you say, what's 19 multiplied by 7? The agent reads the tool descriptions, chooses the calculator, and runs it, all automatically. Now we are going to explore a foundational concept that powers almost everything you do in LangChain: prompts. Prompts are how you talk to the model. They define the instruction and format of the input. What is prompt? A prompt is a piece of text that you send to language model like GPT to tell it what you want. It can be as simple as a question or as complex as a multi-step instruction. But in LangChain, prompts go one step further. They are templates. A prompt consists of two main parts: static instruction text. This part doesn't change. Variables. These are the placeholders that get filled in at runtime. Why use prompt templates? Using prompt template makes your code reusable, dynamic, and clean. You can plug in different values and still follow the same instruction pattern. When working with chat based LLMs like GPT, Langchain gives you another tool: ChatPromptTemplate. This helps you build conversations like specifying roles like system, user, and AI. Why prompts matter? Your prompt determines the quality and accuracy of model's response. Think of prompts as your instructions out to the model. The better you write them, the better the results you will get. Now we are going to combine all the core concepts and build a basic Langchain pipeline from scratch. Get ready. You are about to start building powerful AI workflows. We are going to break down step-by-step flow of a basic Langchain pipeline, the foundation of every powerful Langchain app you will ever build. Step 1: Input. Everything starts with input. This can be text typed by a user, data from an API, or a question triggered by another system. Step 2: Prompting. Next come prompting, where you take the input and wrap it in a meaningful instruction using PromptTemplate. Step 3: LLM call. Once the prompt is ready, you send it to an LLM, a large language model like GPT, Claude, or Hugging Face. Step 4: Output parsing. After the LLM responds, you parse the output to extract useful information. Sometimes it direct text, sometimes it's structured data, depending on how your prompt was designed. Next three steps are optional for now. You can add memory to make your chatbot or app context aware. This means it remembers what the user said earlier. You can also integrate tools like search engines, calculators, or APIs to expand your app's abilities. And finally, you can introduce agents. Agents are smart. They look at the user's request, decide what tools to use, and take actions dynamically. Now let's see the demo of the basic Langchain pipeline. One. In this video, we will walk through a simple Langchain pipeline and break down the code step by step. Before we start, if you have already installed the packages, then it's good. If you don't have installed the packages yet, just execute these three lines of code in a cell and execute it. Once the packages are installed, you will see the green check mark here. I have already installed the packages, so I am moving on to the demo of basic pipeline. For the basic pipeline, let's start by importing the essential components from Langchain. We will need a model from chat models, a chain from chains, and a template from prompts. These three imports are the building blocks of our pipeline. We will use Chat OpenAI to interact with the model, LLM chain to handle the flow, and prompt template to structure our prompt. In the next step, we define a prompt template. The prompt template, we're going to define the prompt template using PromptTemplate.from_template. This template will structure the question we send to the model. Here we have sent the question, what is the meaning of dash dash word. This template takes a variable word, and when we pass a specific word, the model will understand the context of the question. In the next step, we're going to initialize the language model using Chat OpenAI. We are using GPT-3.5 Turbo as our model. This model receives our prompt, process it, and return a response. We have set the model to GPT 3.5 Turbo. In the next step, that is a crucial part, defining chain. We are creating the chain with LLM chain. The LLM chain combines our prompt and LLM, forming the core of the Langchain pipeline. The LLM chain uses the template to dynamically create prompts and feeds them to the LLM for processing. Finally, we run the chain with a specific word and print the result. Here we have passed the specific word blockchain. I have already executed the cell and the set of instructions, and here I have the result of our question. What is the meaning of blockchain? Here it gives the answer. Blockchain is a distributed, decentralized and secure digital ledger technology that enables the secure transfer of data and assets without the need of intermediaries, and so on. Congratulations! You have built the basic pipeline with Langchain successfully. See you in the next video. Everyone, in this video, we are going to take a walk through how to create a simple Q&A chatbot using Langchain and OpenAI. By the end of this video, you will have a working chatbot that can hold conversations with users. Let's dive in. First, we need to install some required libraries. For this demo, we are going to use Gradio for the user interface and Langchain for building the chatbot pipeline. Make sure you run this installation command in your environment, the Google Colab Notebook environment, and set this up. In the next step, we are going to import necessary libraries. These include the Gradio for the front end, Langchain components for the logic, and OpenAI wrapper to interact with GPT-3.5 model. Now we need to set up our OpenAI API key. Here, just for the convenience, I have hard-coded the value of OpenAI API key environment variable. In the next step, we are going to initialize the large language model. We are using ChatGPT 3.5 Turbo from OpenAI, and we will set the temperature to 0.7 to control the randomness of the responses. This model will generate the text-based responses of the user input. To make the chatbot remember the conversation history, we will use the conversation buffer memory. This allows the chatbot to keep track of the ongoing dialogue. We will also define a custom prompt that tells the AI to be friendly and concise while incorporating the history of the conversation. Here you can see we have first defined the prompt template. We are saying that you are a helpful AI assistant. Keep answers concise and friendly. Current conversation. This is the static text. We have include two words. When user will ask the query, it will be stored in the input word and the history will be stored in the history word. So the history and input are the two variables that we have created in the prompt template. And the values will be replaced at runtime when user will actually ask the question, and the chatbot when gives the response, the earlier responses will be stored in the history. Next, the conversation chain. So here the real magic happens. This is where we connect a large language model, memory, and prompt together to form the conversation flow. This chain will handle the back and forth between the user and the model while keeping track of the conversation context. Now let's build the Gradio interface. This will allow the user to interact with the chatbot through a simple web interface. In this code, we set up a chat interface with a text box for user input and a clear button to reset the conversation. The chat with bot function handles the interaction and passes the user input to the conversation chain. Once everything is set up, you can execute the demo. I have already executed the set of instructions and you can see here I am getting the output successfully. Gradio is giving me the public URL that I can open in the new window. Just for the convenience, I am just going to use the user interface provided here. Here you can see the Gradio generates a user interface with the title Langchain Q&A chatbot. It has the text box and also a clear chat button. Now let's try this chatbot. I am just having a simple conversation with my chatbot. Here chatbot gives me the response, hello, how can I assist you today? I would like to visit Paris. Can you help me in finding places to visit in Paris? Yeah, it gives me the answer with the visit to be it gives me the answer for the places that I can visit in Paris. Here my next question is, how far is the Eiffel Tower from Louvre Museum? It gives me answer 3.5 kilometers, about 2.2 miles. Now let's see it remembers the earlier conversation or no. Here I am asking the question, how far other places from Eiffel Tower that you suggest me earlier. I am not giving any specific place name. I would like to check whether it remembers the conversation we had earlier or no. Here you can see it gives me the distance between the other places and the Eiffel Tower. For the cathedral is about 4.5 kilometers, about 2.8 miles from Eiffel Tower. The other place, Champs, Elysis is about 3 kilometers, about 1.9 miles away, and the other place is 6.5 kilometers away. So this is brilliant. It exactly giving me the answer that we have built the chatbot for. Amazing. Now I want to clear all this conversation, so I am using the clear chat button. Here you can see the earlier conversation has been deleted. Amazing. You have successfully built the basic Q&A chatbot using Langchain and OpenAI. Congratulations. Let's quickly recap what we have learned today. We installed the necessary packages. We have set up the OpenAI API key. We have initialized the large language model. We have created a conversation chain with memory. And we have also built a Gradio based user interface for the user interaction. Congratulations and see you in the next video. Congratulations on completing Module 2 of our Langchain course, Understanding the Basics of Langchain. Let's quickly recap what we have covered so far. We have learned about the core concepts behind Langchain, how modular components like prompts, chains, agents, and tools work together. We explored chains, we understood agents, we discussed tools, we dived into prompts, we even walked through a basic line chain pipeline from input to output parsing. And we wrapped it up all with a hands-on demo of a basic Q&A chatbot powered by Langchain, OpenAI, and Gradio. You have built a solid foundation. Great work. Now get ready because in Module 3, we are going to level up and focus on working with LLMs in Langchain. We're going to see how to connect to different LLM providers like OpenAI, Hugging Face, Anthropic, and more. We're also going to see how to customize your LLM responses with parameters like temperature, max tokens, and stop sequences. And finally, we will have a live demo where we will build an AI powered resume analyzer, a real world application. So, if you are excited to start building smarter, more customized AI apps with Langchain, grab a coffee and I will see you in Module 3.